Whew. Hey everybody, Louis Porter Jr. I'm just getting some stuff ready, of course, for our lovely transparency agenda this evening. I guess I'll talk about this since I saw this. It blew my mind. This little thing. Apparently, a Canadian scientist. I mean, this has nothing to do with what we're talking about, but I thought this was just one of those weird moments. So this Canadian scientist doubles the size of ants in an experiment. And the first thing that popped in my head when I saw that was like, hey, dude, haven't you seen the movie Them? The movie Them is a pretty well-known movie. At least, I mean, if you're a 50s sci-fi fan like I am, and you're like, that's a horrible idea. That's a horrible, horrible idea. Things that are bad. That's like number 1 or 2 on the list. I mean, yeah, this stuff's worse. But I know it's like, you want science fiction to actually happen, that's the way you do that. You do crazy things like that. Don't do that. People don't double the size of ants. This is going to turn out bad. We're all going to regret this later and be crying about it later. That's a horrible idea. And if you haven't seen the movie Them, you should watch the movie Them. It is a classic 50s sci-fi. And it's amazing how good some of the 50s sci-fi is. I love that genre. I do. The whole idea. It's just brilliant. Just brilliant on everything. Oh, so brilliant. So check it out. Okay, so today it is September 7th. It is, of course, Wednesday, so it's comic book day. And, a lot of people always ask me, when I do this, they're like, there's lots of stuff that you could be talking about. Why do you always talk about comic books every week? And I'm always fascinated by that. Because it's like, I am a fan of stories, I guess. I'm a fan of stories. I like stories. I think stories, when done well, are awesome. I think comic books have that kind of focused appeal of, it's long form stories. They break up every month and I get to read it and I get excited and, there's lots of good stuff. There's always something good to read. So that's always been kind of my focus. The other part to it, which is kind of surprising, at least to me it's surprising, is that, people who love fantasy and stuff like that don't read. There is a comic book fan base. Don't get me wrong. Well, also let's go back. Let's take a step. Let's take a step back all the way to comic books. Comic books as a concept focus on usually, and I'm talking traditional comic books, 4-color, people in tights, saving people. Hey, John, what's going on? And doing all kinds of super heroic things. So that's very part of the course. And to me, which I've noticed, which I've never understood this, but it's very common that apparently, fantasy doesn't translate well in the comics. Now, some of you are saying, well, no, Lewis, it's not true. But I'm like, let's look at the numbers. Let's just look at the numbers of what's sold very well traditionally versus what is not sold. And we're going to do some blaming too on this too, so don't feel bad. For example, there are long-running, well-known fantasy stuff, but I don't think they sell at the same rate as an Action Comics or Detective or on Marvel side, a Wolverine or Spider-Man. I don't think those numbers, at least now. Back in the in the 10s, 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, yeah, that might have been. But when the golden age of comic books started, and I'm better, when the silver age of comic books started, where I consider is the biggest change that happened, when that really happened and everything changed, I think that kind of fantasy fell to the pulp age. Actually, I've got it on my bookshelf. I'm not going to pick it up, but I'm going to tell you. I'll type it in little notes. I'm going to make another cool reference to a great comic book. If you've not picked it up, it is a fantastic book to read called Planetary. I've talked about Planetary before in this. I think Planetary is a great book. I think if you haven't picked it up, you should pick it up. It's really that good. It is really that good. And one of the early stories in Planetary, which was kind of a cool concept they did, it's actually the first issue, yeah. What happens there, I don't want to ruin it for you, but there's a scene where basically, for lack of a better term, the pulp era heroes run up against the golden age of superheroes. And one of them gets obliterated. I don't want to ruin the story, but it's important. And it's kind of a very interesting way the way they portray it and what they do. And do I want to tell you? just pick it up. I think you'll find it very fascinating. This whole Planetary is a whole book of this fantasy, this interesting fantasy, not fantasy, just fiction-based stuff. It is, it's basically, what was the phrase they used? I can't remember it exactly. It's like going through the 20th century and the pulp, the science fiction, fantasy, all that stuff. And these guys are like architects, and they go through and you talk about all kinds of stuff. And each book is kind of self-contained to a bigger overarching story. And it's just an amazing, amazing book with a lot of good stuff. And that, I think, also ties in back to the whole fantasy thing. I think sword and sorcery works well in traditional books. In comic books, it doesn't seem to have the same appeal. I mean, Conan is probably the closest thing. Conan, of course, it sold well. But it's, once again, it's relative. Conan sells well because people know who Conan is. I mean, Conan is a pretty much a thing, but there's no second tier. Well, there are second tier Conans, but you've never heard of them. I mean, there's Conan, there's Red Sonja, and then it starts breaking down kind of from there, and it gets kind of vague. And it's one of those weird things. It's like you think people who play D&D would be also buying comic book versions of stuff, but that doesn't really happen. And I know a couple companies have tried to do comic book versions of their stuff. I mean, Wizard of the Coast has definitely done several limited series. They've gone back to the well on that one, gone back. I mean, back and forth. And, even most recently, they got Jim Zub, our buddy Jim Zub. He came and he did some great work for him on that. And Paizo also got into the whole comic book game with Dynamite, if I'm still correct. I'm not going to write them down. See? And they have done their version with Pathfinder, and it's a smart idea. It's a smart idea, and I've always been a fan of it, and I think the reason for doing comics are important besides the typical, hey, I like comics, but I think it's as a business, it's a way to look at it. All right, hey Dale, what's going on? Comic books are a great way to get people into reading the product you're trying to sell them on top of the comics. Because comic books are comic books. People like comics. If you're a comic fan, you like comics. If you heard, something, they're going to do a comic book on, let's say, okay, I'll give you a great example. Can I reach it? It's close by. Perfect. So this comic series just started. I'll pop this back. Future Quest. Ta-da! Sorry, let me say correctly. Hanna-Barbera's Future Quest. See, someone did something very, very cool. They went to my childhood, and somebody said, hey, those Hanna-Barbera cartoons were awesome back then. Why don't they have any comic books for them? And I don't know if they were sold or licensed or whatever, but someone got smart, and they put all the Hanna-Barbera cartoons like Birdman and Johnny Quest and Mightor, Space Ghost, the Herculoids. What else can I get in here? Yes, this is Frankenstein Jr., Frankenstein Monster Jr. A lot of just great stuff that Frankenstein Jr. And it's just a lot of cool stuff that I watched as a kid growing up because that's what Hanna-Barbera did. Hanna-Barbera did a lot of cool comic stuff, and then now they built an actual comic. And I am loving this. I am 100% loving this. It is kind of a throwback. I don't know how popular it is with the new kids. I mean, they weren't around with that. Hey, David. They just weren't. They just weren't around watching that. So they may not be very exciting to them. To me, it's very exciting. So I like that. So yeah, actually, move some books around. We'll talk about these books in a second. But yeah, so fantasy's always had a hard time, making it to the masses in ways. There isn't. There is no D&D comic book that's gone for 500 issues or 100 issues. Hell, I don't even think 25 issues. Maybe, but I don't think there is. I don't think there is. Not 25 issues in a row. Paizo has. That's a very interesting. See what happens. Going down a rabbit hole, and it gets kind of interesting. Pathfinder comic. How long has the Pathfinder comic been running? I wish somebody from Paizo would come tell me quickly so I wouldn't have to do all this research. Okay, currently, look at this. Pathfinder has been running. They have, it says 37 issues set plus some other specials. But I assume they're consecutive, but they're consecutive. They're numbered, but I don't know if it's every month. I'm gonna assume it is. Let's just assume it is. So they've gotten 3 years, or 3 years, 1 month, they're going to be technical about it, out of it. And that's awesome. That's what you want to see. Well, these are on pre-order, so it hasn't come out yet, but all right, but still, it's close enough. I'm going to say close enough. This is coming out soon. You know, pre-orders are close enough to certain people. So, but I digress. Nicholas, in Australia, we missed a lot of the original Hanna-Barbera stuff. Now let's have Adult Swim. Yeah, let me tell you, man. Growing up in America, watching a lot of Johnny Quest, and I mean, wow, way too much Johnny Quest. You know, I always wanted to live that life. I'm not gonna lie. Johnny Quest has got everything I want in a boyhood fantasy. You got you and your best friend hanging out with this cool bodyguard who knows judo, and you don't even know the word judo. You don't know what judo is. You just know judo. That's awesome, judo. And your father's a scientist. And where's the mother? I still don't know. People say, "Oh, the mother died in the first episode." I don't remember ever seeing that, but we never talk about it. It's like, boom, woman gone, no one cares. 4 guys acting crazy, and you know you're constantly getting in trouble with you and your best friend. And people are getting shot and killed on a regular basis because let's be honest, man, the death toll on Johnny Quest is quite in the high levels. And all the women you meet are scandalous and skeevy and awesome. It's just, you know, ba-boom, ba-boom, ba-boom. Love it. Love it. Oh, AD&D. See, it did make, okay, see, thank you, Nicholas. I thought maybe it made 2 years. I didn't think it. I know it didn't do that many, but okay, 36 issues, that's 3 years. That's legitimate. It's funny. Now back to the whole comic conversation. It's funny to me that this hasn't been pushed more and presented out more to grab more fans. And I think the idea, like Dale just commented, saying there's going to be a crossover with Conan and Pathfinder is good for Paizo, because you know there are people who are Pathfinder. I mean, that's funny. People who are Conan fans who've never heard of Pathfinder, and those people are going to pick up and say, "Oh, what's this? I've never heard of this. Is there comic books? Let me check it out." And it's a great way to kind of sideways get in. And it works. It works very well. I think it should do very well for them. And it's a smart idea. I think, once again, comic books are a great thing that tabletop guys need to start thinking about long term. Even if it's starting out with like web comics and doing like maybe a small piece. Even is it over there? I know it's over there, but I don't want to get up and get it. No, it's actually in the bathroom. The Deadlands little comic book they did one comic book with Image, if I still remember, way back in the day. And it's a decent comic book. It's a good story. It plays like it's supposed to. It's a 1 issue, fits, boom. And they give you some cool stuff in there. And it was one of those things of, hey, this is kind of cool. And then they spun it off in their actual books they were doing. Their actual books, I guess they're calling them their Pathfinder books they were doing. They're kind of the same thing, adventure, then story, and some other stuff. And they did it for a little bit, and they did, 6-page, 8-page comics in them. And then they would convert the comic, what they wrote about, the monster, the item, whatever, into actual game stats. That was kind of cool. Yeah, see, they'll also, I guess they're doing John Carter also with Pathfinder. That's kind of cool. Like I said, I think it's smart. It's a smart way to tie up things together. Why would you not do that? And let's be honest, we hire artists to draw art. Why aren't we having them draw comic book pages? Because comic pages, it would be smart because you can use that art in your product. It ain't rocket science here. It ain't, let's figure it out. I tell you, it's just things that don't get done. And it's always like, you always make the face of, why isn't it getting done? I don't know. So comic books have gone back to that whole thing. And even the industry right now is so, oh my God, the comic industry is such a mess. It is such a mess. And like I said, I love comic books, but man, oh man, the quality of books, the cost of books. All right, so now we can go to the books. This is what I bought today. I bought 5 books today. And we're going to talk about the books I bought, why I bought them, and I haven't read a lot of them yet, but I just got home, but you can see why it's important. All right, so book number 1 I picked up was Doctor Strange. I've been picking this up since the new revamp. Jason Aaron's been writing this, and I think this has been a great storyline. I've been enjoying it, and you know what? Doctor Strange is just crazy enough to be interesting. It's something you should pick up. The first 6 are great. The first 10 are great. The whole idea was interesting, and Jason Aaron proved once again why he's a good writer. Okay, we'll put this over here so I can read that. Next up, now this is 100% my own personal favorite. Squadron Supreme. I have been a Squadron Supreme fan since I first ever heard about them. Squadron Supreme. It's so weird. I don't get this. On the Facebook, it's always backwards, but I don't understand this. It's backwards on Facebook. It's a regular on YouTube. I can't figure out how to flip it on that. I don't understand. But I digress. So I've always loved the idea of the JLA in Marvel. So I think it works. I think it works, well. I've always thought it worked well. So I like them as villains, and this is like just awesome. Ooh, just awesome. What can I say? So I haven't read this yet, but I know it's going to be good because I've been enjoying it. Was James Robinson's been writing this? Yeah, James Robinson's been writing this. If you know James Robinson's writing, Golden Age, another book that he did very, very well. It's another great book he did. Okay, here's a book I picked up. You're going to think for the reason. Okay, I picked up Cyborg. Yeah, I dig Cyborg as a character. But I dig him as a character. He's a cool character. But I didn't pick it up because of him. I picked it up because who's doing the art. One of my favorite artists of all time, Paul Pelletier. Paul Pelletier, it's going to be tough. Get that one. Paul Pelletier. Paul Pelletier has done art on some of my favorite books. I've always liked his style of art. He actually lives in the Central Florida area. So he goes to MegaCon a lot, and I've met him several times. I'm a huge fan of his stuff. So like I said, this is guaranteed to get my money. Wasn't even a big deal. Oh, and before I forget, let's talk about some other stuff that's going on here too. Number one, pricing. $4. Oh, sorry, $3.99. Let's be exact. $3.99. $2.99. Next up, Nightwing. Because I like Nightwing. I've always liked Nightwing. Nightwing's a better character. Batman's a dumb character. Nightwing is awesome. That's all I can say. Nightwing, awesome. Batman, stupid. I'm more scared of Dick than I am of Bruce. And it's easy. Bruce is, I'm perfect at everything. And Nightwing is not the exact opposite, but he's very much the happier Batman. I think, great character, great development, great long-term character. $2.99. Fernandez, who's been doing this art, is this the same guy? I think it's the same guy who's been doing the art. I like the style. It fits well. I'm enjoying this book. Good book. And finally, I had to pick up a book due to our awesome interview we had with him, Jim Zub's Glitter Bomb. Boom. I haven't even I did crack it open. I saw like the first page. I don't even know what's going on. Everybody keeps telling me how great it is, so I'm going to read this last. I'm going to enjoy this and read this last tonight. It's going to be fun. This is what my excitement will be. Boom. Good books, having good stuff. Oh, yeah. $2.99 for Nightwing. And Jim's was, where's the price on it? $3.99. Okay. So altogether, it's probably almost about $20 worth of books. 5 books, $20. I said one of them's, I just saw something crazy in the page. I was like, oh, what's that? $20 in books. I bought 2 and 2? Or is that just really? No, yeah. Oh my God. I bought 2 Marvel, 2 DC, and 1 independent. The Marvel books, are they worth $1 more? I don't know. That issue. We already know how I feel about that issue. Glitter Bob, I'm guessing it's pretty good. Plus, like I said, it's independent. Someone I know made that book. He wrote that book. We've had him on the show. He talked about great stuff. We had a great interview. He's a good guy. He's into RPGs. I'm not going to put his name on the notes again. You've not put his book in. I put his name. Jim's a good guy, so I expect him to be very good. The critics have been getting all excited about it, saying how awesome it is. And it's like, okay, that's cool. Someone we know has put out a cool book. Yay, that's good. Why would we not want friends that do good work? We want guys to do good work so we can all bask in their coolness and they can bring even more people on the stuff we do and vice versa, and it's one big great affair. And that's what we want. We want people to have fun, and that's why comic books I enjoy comic books. I usually go to there's a couple local stores I go to for comics really, and it's very much when you go you can have the best interesting conversations about all kinds of weird topics. And if you're if you're a comic fan, this. Same thing as like gaming stores. They build that community aspect, and that only helps foster the community that we're in. So as a company, as a publisher, and as a fan, I want to make sure that there are lots of ways that we can branch out and get more people involved in this, because this is awesome. Tabletop stuff is awesome. We have a great time. We go out of our way to make fun. So yeah, it's supposed to be a positive and good thing. Now, with that being said, of course, online there's been this big hoopla thingamajig going on with Ian World and stuff like that. So I'm doing my best not to even talk about it, because I'm just to the point of like, guys, we can't be doing this all the time. We just can't. It's like we don't have to see how upset about that. Hey, Robert, it's like it just hits me. It's just another disturbing moment of why we can't get along. And everybody keeps this attitude of, take no prisoners. Everyone's got to be perfect. If you make a mistake, we're going to be on you. And I'm just like, you know what? I know I've said things about people in the past, but I'm going to do my best not to try to be the ass. I'm going to try to be the right guy. I'm going to be like, look, these things don't always work out. These things have problems. But you know what? Let's give people the benefit of the doubt. Let's stop abusing people like that. We don't have to. If somebody does something bad, let's just, let's cut a little slack. We've all made mistakes. There's no need for that. Like, and this whole mentality, let's just, piling on people and just, I don't get that. It's not necessary. It doesn't have to be. Just let's be cool about it. Let's take it a different way. So, why does it have to be negative? Why can we do more positive things? There's a lot of people in this industry, and there's so many negative things that happen. It's negative things for no apparent reason. And we're such a small industry. How don't we just team up and do better things for all of us? But that doesn't always happen. Sometimes you got to take the abuse as it is and just deal with it accordingly. But once again, I am not going to do that. I'm going to talk about cool things. I'm going to talk about fun things. I'm going to find ways to make cool things and make it fun. And best of all, I'm going to do my best to do that in this industry and have a good time. There you go. That's really it. See, comic book day is always, I'm trying to do light and fun and exciting and new stuff. And, it can be difficult because things happen. But well, on a light, brighter note, I'm going to Amazon right now. So because my birthday was a couple weeks ago, I bought some birthday gifts. I bought some new books. I also got some more gift cards, of course. And I said, "Ooh, what do I want to buy with my lovely gift cards?" So I am one of those people who says, "I think I'll find something cool to buy." So I added to my cart the Planetary Omnibus. It's once again Planetary. It is the entire book series in one book. And I'm going to put it on my shelf right over there, and I'm going to take all my trades out and do something with my trades, like give them away or, something, give some kids to read. Since I have the Omnibus, I won't need anything else. The Omnibus is awesome. It has every appearance of Planetary. So it's like, what else do I need? I got it all. I'm good to go. It's like, dude, man, that's a cool thing. I think this whole comics and omnibus thing has been like a really great thing for guys like me who want to read, long stories, but collected together. So boom. Like here's one for Annihilation. Wow, Annihilation Conquest. They really want that much for it. Went $18. I don't think I'll be buying that one. But the Infinity Gauntlet. Wow, guys, I'm not buying that one either. It's $125. I'm trying to spend I have $100. I'm trying to get as many as I can for $100. So I'm looking through right now and seeing what I can see. But maybe Captain America: Winter Soldier. You never know. See what the cool thing is? Like I said, I saw Planetary, had to have that. I keep debating about getting Crisis. Ooh, here's one I haven't seen in a long time. If you've never read this, now I got to place my notes since I said ooh in the middle of itself. Wonder Woman. I know your people are like, Wonder Woman. Lewis, I wouldn't get you a Wonder Woman fan. I am a Wonder Woman fan in the sense when they do Greek mythology. I'm a huge Wonder Woman fan when they do, and I'm going to link right to this one. It's one of my favorite ones. When they do the George Perez run. George Perez, if you don't know, first of all, let's just call it like it is. If you don't know who George Perez is, I think you have to stop watching my show because we can't be friends. That's how serious it is. We can't be friends. It's George Perez, man. If you don't like George Perez, how can I be your friend? Good Lord. It's George Perez. So George Perez is an awesome, amazing, legendary artist. Did he actually? I don't know if he actually did any writing. I don't think he actually did. He actually, just known for his art. And he did Wonder Woman in the late '80s. Look at that, pull that out. And the series run he did was awesome, and he was awesome in it. And that's right, he wrote it and drew it. See, I knew he was an author. I was like, yes, I couldn't remember. And this is like an awesome run, and the artwork is great, and everything about it's pretty great. And now I'm talking myself into maybe I'll buy it, but it's $48. See, I'm trying to get as many I can for $100. But it's one you should check out. And this is which one? What issues is this from? Issues 1 through 24. And yeah, so 25 issues, 22 pages a piece. Boom, 500 pages. It's going to be like yay thick. It's going to be a nice thick book. You're going to be appreciative that you bought it. Same thing with, Planetary. Another one of those thick books that you're like, damn, yes, sweet. So that's what I'm doing. I'm going through here to pick out stuff that I'd be cool. Oh, X-Men, wow, under 25. Marvel does not want to give any deals, man. Marvel's looking for that big money now. Now they get those big bills. They got to get that big money. They don't want to give any inexpensive omnibus. Like here, War Kings, one of my favorite things. War Kings is great. The artwork, another Paul Pelletier, another great piece of art. Yes, I am going all fanboy on you. There's nothing wrong going fanboy on you with this. It's a good look. If people go cosplay, I can be all fanboy. Let's just accept it. That's not a problem. War Kings, another great series. I've always wanted to recreate that in Pathfinder. I think that would be an awesome adventure path. I think people would like that in a distinct way. And I'd want to recreate the first issue scene of the big wedding and the surprise attack. I think that would be awesome in Pathfinder. I think it would set the tone for everything. One day I'm going to do it. I'm not going to lie. I might even call it War Kings. That's how much I'm going to steal the idea. I love it. I love that. Boom. You can go all day with that. So, what am I going to get? So many things. But yeah, that's the cool thing. All right, it's almost time. I'm gonna close out early because I've got some stuff to do. And yes, a fanboy like me has to check out all this cool stuff that I want to buy with my lovely gift card from Amazon. Thank you, Amazon. I wouldn't know what I would do without you. Good Lord, Amazon and I. It's crazy. So, all right. So everybody, we'll be back tomorrow with a week wrap up. I'm hoping the thing that's happening now will get died down. I hope it's not a big problem because I don't want to talk about it. I really don't want to talk about it tomorrow, but I'm going to be positive. So, so if you haven't gone out to a regular comic book store in a while, go out to a comic book store. There's lots of good comic book stores out there. Talk to people, and they might find something new and interesting to read. If you're not sure, do the smart. And they have a good store. Do the smart thing. Swing by a local store. They have a section usually like dollar comic books, like True Believers from Marvel, and what's DC's version called? I can't remember. Marvel's like True Believer and has a timely Atlas logo on it. They're comic books. They just get people started. It's great. It's cheap. It's easy. You don't know. Spend $5, get 5 of them, see what you like, test it out. If it sucks, okay. You just wasted $5. So that's no big deal. It's only $5. Just spend that in a latte with pumpkin spice. And we all know who controls the pumpkin spice. Controls the white girls. I'm going to get that on a t-shirt. So you understand what I'm saying. All right. I'm getting out of here. As always, do us a favor. Swing by YouTube, subscribe. It's very important. So do that. We really appreciate that. And I guess that's it. You'll have a good evening. Let me do this at the same time. And I will talk to you all later.